Welcome to Seeing Scarlet. It's Shelby here with Tyler, and today we have all things World University Games. We interviewed Krista Gerlich earlier in the week, so go watch that if you haven't seen it yet. We'll mention some of that in here. But what are the World University Games? Texas Tech women's basketball is representing Team USA in this. Baylor men's basketball is representing Team USA on the men's side. And then a ton of other sports are going on there. We'll get into what it is, what we are watching for is really what this episode's about. A few, like 5 different things that we're kind of like looking at because it's a weird one. It's the middle of the summer and we're getting a chance to watch them play basketball, which is unique. So we're going to get into that. Some thoughts from that Gerlich interview that we talked about, some clips, and then who is actually playing in this for Texas Tech, who is not playing in this, some big names on both sides of that, and all the ins and outs, and try to answer some questions that have come in over the last few days in this video for you guys. So that's where I'm at. I know Tyler's excited because if you're new to Seeing Scarlet, nobody loves international sporting events, Team USA type events than Tyler. He'll probably be tracking the gold medal counts for this event and just letting USA know if they're losing by too much. That's what he does for the Olympics. So fair warning if you follow him.
Yes, I'm super excited for the Lady Raiders to be representing Team USA. Obviously, this is such an incredible opportunity for them and just an incredible opportunity to really have Texas Tech's brand be shown across, the world. Any foreign women's basketball players that are thinking about going to college, head over to the States, come to Texas Tech. This is just going to be a fun and great experience. And yeah, hopefully the United States, kicks butt and we take care of business. But we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a good point. Real quickly, what is it? How it works? It's basically a miniature Olympics. If you're familiar with that at all, there's all sorts of sports there. There's archery, there's swimming, there's diving, gymnastics, everything you see at the Olympics. Basically, that's what's at this event. And then I think I don't even remember how many countries. There's a lot of countries there at this represented. They just did the opening ceremonies today. We'll show you a clip from that. It's very much like the Olympics. There's an athlete village, all those things. But this is about basketball. That's what we're going to hear us cover here because that's what Texas Tech is being represented in. They have 3 pool round games. That's what you need to know. If you would like to watch them, you can. It's going to be on fisu.tv. FISU.tv. There'll be links all around. We'll post links on our social media. I'm sure the team's going to post links on their social media. First game is on Friday, on the 18th at 8 p.m. Central European Time, which is 2 p.m. No, 1 p.m. Sorry, can't do the math. 1 p.m. Central Time here in Texas. It's 7 hours ahead over there. So that's the first game you can watch. They're playing the host team in Germany. And there was a press conference earlier today that we got access to watch, and they asked him like 4 different times. Tyler, I know you watched it.
Mm.
Are y'all prepared for this hostile? They kept saying the word hostile environment. Don't know if the word hostile means something a little bit different over there or not, but they're expecting a big crowd, I think. European crowds are always big for women's basketball, men's basketball. They're big fans of basketball over there, so I could see it being a big crowd. Host country against Team USA. They've probably been billing it, selling it for months now. I don't know how many this stadium holds, but it could be an interesting crowd. And if you've ever been to Europe, their sports crowds are different than ours, right? Ours are
Hmm.
rowdy in our own way, but theirs are rowdy in their own way. So I am interested to see how the crowd is and how our players handle that. Well, we'll see that, but that's on Friday. That's the big one to start it off. Not an easy out for your first game together, but we'll get into that. And then they play Chinese Taipei the next day. These are all back-to-back games, no rest for the weary. So on Saturday at 5:30 their time, 10:30 a.m. Texas time, they would play Chinese Taipei, and then they finish off group play with Poland on, would that be Sunday? And for some reason I didn't write down the time, but I know it's noon over there, 5 a.m. here. So that one, I probably won't be catching that one live. I'm not gonna lie, but I think you can replay them because you can go back and watch the opening ceremonies that just happened a little while. So I'm assuming the games are the same way. They'll be on demand. So that's kind of how it works. And then there's going to play pool play games. They'll rank the teams. The top 8 go into kind of like call it the winners bracket, if you will. Those are the teams that are fighting for gold. That starts on Tuesday. Don't know times or anything for that yet. And then they'll play semifinal the next day on Wednesday. If they win that, they'll play in the gold medal match 2 days after that. So I guess Thursday or Friday. Math is hard. And then if they lost semifinal, they play for the bronze medal, I believe, on that day as well. So we'll see how far they make it. I really don't know what to expect from this, Tyler. I'm gonna be honest. That's what this video is about. We're gonna go through a few things, but it's really kind of like I'm just interested to see how they do and see how some individual players maybe have gotten better over the offseason so far, and kind of maybe even some new scheme and stuff that we'll get into. But I don't have a lot of expectations except for like we need to make it decently far. But winning gold would be hype. Hasn't been a U.S. team that has won gold here since 2015. Some caveats to that, but we will be the first U.S. team to win it since 2015. So if you're in it, you might as well win it.
Oh, I completely agree. I think that just knowing how far ahead usually the United States is in women's basketball, we really should be the favorites and we should come out on top of gold. Obviously, there's some other countries in there that could give us a run for our money. Australia, Germany, France, people like that. But honestly, like, yes, like this was a great opportunity for us to really show our strength, for us to really show this team to everyone else, and all this extra time that they're getting over the summer to help practice, like we're seeing that pay off, right? And they're getting to represent our country, and I don't really know what I'm expecting from it either, but I am expecting a medal. So that's kind of where
Yeah,
I'm at with it as well.
I'm here. I'm at the baseline. We need to get bronze, right? But I'm like, let's win the whole damn thing.
Let's
I
do it.
don't go into anything expecting not to win, so let's go win. Before we get into some 5 different things that we're actually watching, different things, let's get into 2 things. One, who's on this team, and 2, a message from Gerlich. You talked about how hard they're working. This clip right here is from our interview with her earlier in the week. Again, you can watch the whole thing on YouTube if you'd like to.
For this opportunity. I think that they have a great opportunity in front of them, but a great responsibility too. And I think it's a door that is open and that they are running through it. Like they have been working their tails off this summer. And I need Lady Raider Nation to know that, and not just Lady Raider Nation, but the United States of America. I
Oh,
need
they're
them
about to
to
know.
know. Yes, that they have been working their tails off. And I don't think they're taking this lightly. They're not taking it as, gosh, we've had to practice all summer. Like,
That's
I
good.
think they've really enjoyed getting this experience. And so I want everyone to know how hard they've been working, how much they believe in what we're doing, and then also how proud they are to be Red Raiders. This group of kids is proud to be Lady Raiders, and they're just not taking that for granted. And so I'm really excited about that, and I hope everybody will watch us. There should be a link. They're trying to get it on ESPN Plus. I'm not sure they're going to get that done, but
Okay.
there should be a link. We'll put it out on Twitter, all those things. Follow us on social media because Casey, our SID, is going with us, and she will put things out daily in game as much as she can. She's going to be a little bit limited on help and just
Yeah.
being able, whatever that technology looks like as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're going to try to give you a lot of exposure, a lot of insight to it, because we're just thrilled that these kids are getting this opportunity, and that Texas Tech is getting this opportunity as well.
I'm excited for him. Go watch that whole interview if you want more info, or it's a great interview. She talks about all the players. She runs through each of them individually, each of the coaches individually, talks all about this event and what it means. Really honest about where the program is and where it has to go and where they've been. Go listen to it. It's really gracious when any head coach takes time to come on a show like this and talk to people. So I think you have to respect that. And she was, we were on there for like an hour and a half, probably pre doing the show and then after as well. So I respect the hell out of that. So really hoping that this goes the way they want it to. Excited to see them go to work. Let me time out. We need to tell you who's on the team first because this will affect some of these things. So there are technically 11 people on this roster. 8 of them that are on the official roster are Lady Raider players. Why is there not more than 8? Well, the 12 players that are on the official Lady Raider roster for next year, 4 of them are international players. They cannot play in this for Team USA because they are not Americans. That's not how that works. So they are with the team. I think at least 2 of them, Julie and Gemma, are there. They've been practicing with the team, and they're there getting to practice and do all the things, but they can't play. That means you need more people. They brought in 3 extra players. One, Indiana Gaston, who is very good. If you don't know who that is,
Very
you're
good.
about to know if you're going to watch these games. I know that I'll be researching as soon as we start watching them play together how we can get her another year of eligibility. I wish. Let me pray on that. But no, she's here playing as kind of an extra player, but she's very good. All SEC performer, played at Auburn and Texas both, averaged 20 points and 10 rebounds last year in the SEC. She's going to be a big player in this. How much she'll play, how much she won't, I don't know. At this point, they need the bodies, and she's very good. We're trying to win, so she'll probably be a big part of the rotation. And then you also added Kennedy Winfrey she played at UNLV, West Texas A&M. People locally know that name. She was kind of a star for Canyon, Texas, over in West Texas. Won a lot of championships there. Now she's back playing for the team. And then Lacey White is a Texas Tech's women's basketball student manager. And so it's a cool story, kind of like a Rudy type story, got pulled up to the team. But she was a very good high school basketball player, had an injury her senior year that kind of took out the option to go play college basketball for her. So she just became a student manager. So I think she's been with the team for about a year or so. And so it just made sense for her to get bumped up on the roster when they needed some bodies. And everyone seems to love her. So those are the 3 added players. 2 players that are on the roster that I don't believe you're going to see are Bailey Maupin. That's been kind of confirmed that she's not playing in these. She had an injury earlier in the summer. Sounds like she's fine now, even probably released at this point, maybe even getting to practice a little bit with them while they're there now, which will be good. But they're not going to play her just for precautionary reasons. I tend to think good luck keeping Bailey Maupin off the court. If they make it to like the gold medal match, they're going to have to lock her to the bench, but we'll see. She's not supposed to play, but she is with the team there from the sidelines. Coaching is what Gerlich called it. She'll be an extra coach for them. And then I'm pretty sure Sonata Collins is not playing either. Who was one of the big pickups for the offseason, just general soreness and stuff that didn't make sense to mess with pushing it because it's more important to have her in November. So those 2 players you won't see. You have those fill-in players. So it's a kind of a short roster, about 9 players, I think, available to them with a lot of games. So that kind of frames some of these questions we have moving forward, but let's get into the first one. We put these in here before we knew all the roster changes, but any hints or like on scheme changes with new staff, new players, new personnel to work with, will we be able to see anything? You know what I mean? Or is there going to be a little bit of a different offense, a little bit of a different defense? Will it be the same thing we've seen with just different players? I am kind of going to look for some tea leaves there, some crumbs, some breadcrumbs, if you will, because that's stuff that interests me. How are they going to play with someone like Jada Malone, who was a huge offseason pickup from A&M, a true post player that finishes when you get her the ball? Are we going to adjust to being able to have something like that? Can we get her the ball? Is our scheme going to be a little different because of having someone like her when she gets in there? Gaston's that same type of player, so they could still run the same scheme. And then defensively, are we going to press as much? Probably not with only 9 people, but we'll still do it at times. And we've talked about this in past episodes in the offseason. You know, all these people who are getting very long, very active on defense. Maybe if they'll like try some 1-3-1 trapping zone or something like that with this team, kind of help hide Jada Malone on the back end on defense a little bit. Hide's probably not a fair word. She's pretty good defensively, but she's not going to be good if she gets on an island with a guard, and that type of defense can sometimes help with that and then take advantage of our ability to trap. Those are just like small scheme things that people have been asking about, and I've been wondering as well. So that's probably the first on my list.
Yeah. Yeah, I also agree with that as well. I think that as far as defense goes, yeah, we may have to go into a 1-3-1 and see how that
Might be
kind
very
of gets
vanilla,
played
I
out.
think is what Gerlich even said. So prepare
Yeah.
you. That we're looking for these things, but it might just be a very vanilla look. For sure.
Right. And then the other thing was just by listening to the new coaching videos, Coach Katera Chappell, she was like, she's not super big on the set plays. She really likes to go, go, go. And when we know that the shot clock's obviously going to be shorter because we're playing under FIBA rules, like it's going to be a
Yep.
lot faster basketball. And we just have to make sure that we're doing the right things, we're making the right plays, and we're able to move in transition with all of these pieces and making sure that everybody isn't getting super gassed because as we've said, it's 3 games in 3 days. That's not easy
It's a
to
lot.
do. It's a lot of
It's a
games.
Big 12 tournament
Yes,
all over again.
basically. So, but luckily this team did do fairly well in the Big 12 tournament, and so we'll see if we can do that. But that's kind of what I'm looking for too.
I agree. And as I kind of said, Gerlich said in our interview that they have been keeping things pretty vanilla in practice, most of it, just because the new faces and the limited roster. So I don't know how much we'll actually get to see, but that is probably the number one thing I'm looking for, just because I'm a nerd, and just would like to see kind of where we're getting some breadcrumbs there. Next, how do these new players look? Right, we don't get to see all of them. Really bummed we don't get to see Gemma Nunes out there just dishing behind the back, between the legs passes that Gerlich told us about in her interview. Obviously, she's from Spain. She can't play in this, but another one of those new players is Sydney Love, who is going to be a combo guard for this team once the season gets here. But in this, she's going to need to be a point guard. because they don't have Gemma. Bailey's not there to do spot duty either. Sounds like it's going to be Sydney and Bird Martin, who we'll talk about in a minute, taking on that role. Maybe Danae will get some of that run. She ran that position last year, but yeah, that's one. Jada Malone, I know you're excited for her. I'll let you talk about her more in a minute, but yeah, I kind of mentioned what I'm looking for her already is like how the team plays with her. Not so much her. I feel like I know what she can do. Are we capable of throwing a post entry pass, please? And then once we see like, oh, she's gonna finish if we get it to her, does that kind of change how we play a little bit? And then yeah, those are really the only two ones that are playing that are new because then Collins is not available to play and our other ones are international. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. What about you?
Definitely sad Snudda won't be able to compete in this World Games, but as far as those two that are returning are those newcomers that are playing, yeah, definitely Sydney Love. I'm super excited to see her. If you watched Coach Gerlich's interview, she really did talk about how highly respected Sydney Love came from a coach like Karen Aston, and Sydney Love led her team to conference championship regular season. So she obviously in a WBIT appearance. So she obviously has that dog in her, and I really want to see her. Really facilitate things, especially now that Bailey's out on the point guard role. Just kind of seeing how that's gonna go. And then yeah, Jada Malone, super excited. Every year she's played in college, she's finished above 50%. So as you said, our post entry passes have to be great. But I also want to see from Jada Malone, it seems like she has a little bit of a mid range kind of going to her. And I really need to see that because that's what's going to make us be more successful when we're playing that post position, right? We don't just want a post that's just camping out down there the entire time because eventually people will start to figure out, they'll start double teaming. So if we can see Jada Malone's expanded shot, which we have seen it before. Y'all can go watch the episode. And even on the Lady Raider practice videos, I think that would be a huge element added to this that could really give some teams trouble, especially teams like, Chinese Taipei, that's obviously going to have a height difference compared to us. And Jada Malone can really do some work.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. That's something we've looked for in that position for quite a time, and we've seen clips coming out from practice that she can do it. She is a player that we might not see a lot of. They're being smart with her minutes, and it's the summer, so no reason to push it. But those minutes that she does get, I'm intrigued to see all those things as well. So good points. Same kind of thing, but a year later, we had 3 really big transfer pickups last year. Among them were Danae Fritz, Jalen Bristow, Adley Blacklock. How do they look year 2, a full offseason under their belt? Now they're leaders on this team, especially Blacklock, especially Danae Fritz, who Coach Gerlich talked a lot about in our interview, how she stepped up this year. There's some great quotes in that story that I wrote on Red River Sports. If you want to read that, to the Cliff Notes version, or watch the whole thing. But basically, she's been the best competitor on the team, the leader on the team, really pushing the team to live up to the standards that they want to, and she's taken it upon herself to be that defensive stopper that we all know she is, but also be more aggressive on the offensive end. And if you watch our show, we you know that gets us excited because we're big Danae Fritz fans. I very much believe in her as a basketball player, and I feel like she started to find herself as a basketball player again towards the end of last year in that Big 12 tournament. And it sounds like that's carried over to the summer based on the reports from practice. And I'm very excited for her to get to carry that over into Germany in the next year. So to see that, a more aggressive Danae Fritz is a good thing. Same kind of thing, Jalen Bristow. Her growth this next year. We all know her talent is there. Gerlich talked about her taking defense a little bit more to heart in the offseason, and that'll get her some more playing time, but we absolutely just need her to play. Like, she's going to have to play for this team this year, and she's the highest rated player we have on this team. Coming out of high school, she's a top 30 player, I think she was. Top 50 player. She has all the talent in the world. She just has athleticism that other people don't in her measurables, her build. She can be really good, so I'm excited to see her kind of be a 3-level scorer for this team and take on that role and be a little bit more mature out there because she's a junior now. And then Adley Blacklock, we didn't get to see a lot of her last year. She'd come in spurts and shoot a lot. She's going to have to play a lot in this. We talked about only having 9 people. I think that'll be really good for Adley to get used to being, back to playing a lot of minutes. She was a big-time star in high school in this area in Lubbock. She's from Lubbock, put up a lot of points back then, but in college, she's been more of a come in and sniper shoot, short spurt player, and maybe that's what she'll be when the season gets here. I don't know, but it's still going to be fun to get her some extended minutes out there. We also saw her doing some individual workouts in the summer. She's been posting videos, and seems like she's working a little bit on her get to the basket game, like one-on-one play, which was something we didn't see much of her do last year. So I'm wondering if maybe we see a little bit more of aggressive Adley as well. I mean, you get Adley and Danae out there crash into the basket driving and shooting threes. Like, that's scary stuff. So that's kind of what I'm looking for from those three players.
I'm definitely, as you said, looking at Danae. I think she definitely is going to be like the leader for these Germany World Games because with Bailey out now, and I really think that we're starting to see that, right? She's getting the media availability right now. She's really talking like a leader, and Coach Gerlich highly praised her leadership in her interview. So, yeah, definitely want to see Danae Fritz be more aggressive. As Coach Gerlich said, and as we all know, Danae Fritz is a shooter. She can shoot the ball. She's an
Shoot it.
elite scorer. And yeah, we need her to shoot the ball, whether it's from three. We need her to drive in. We need her to go to the free throw line. That's your favorite thing, right? Yes, we need
For the love
Danae
of God, we
Fritz.
can't be having a 90% free throw shooter only shoot 10 free throws. I'll believe
Exactly.
it. I
Yes.
believe we're gonna see it.
Yes, so we need to see that as well. So yeah, I'm super excited to see Danae in that aspect. Jalen, as you said, obviously interested to see that jump from sophomore to junior year that we also talk about a lot. I would definitely think Jalen's going to have to be a crucial piece in order for this team to go far, not only in Germany but in the season overall. And yeah, she
For sure.
definitely is going to have to limit her fouling and some of the silly turnovers and plays
That's a
and
good
things
point.
like that. But she definitely has a lot of potential, right? She definitely can score at elite level. I know Coach Gerlich was talking about Jalen's three ball is getting a lot of work right now. She's working on that, and that would be super great. And we know that if she gets fouled on a three ball, she'll make all three free throws in a
Oh,
row and help
clutch.
us. Yeah,
Ice in
she
her
has that
veins.
clutch gene. So super excited for
Absolutely.
that for Jalen. And then lastly, Adley. Yeah, I want ACU game Adley where she like had
Mm.
like five
And
different
Fuego.
three pointers in Fuego, like just going in there and shooting the ball. And then, yeah, if we can see that aspect of her game where she's driving to the basket, I mean, it's going to be a whole party in the USA. I mean,
Haha, let's go. Party in the USA, party in Germany, everywhere. Party as Team USA. It's going to be a good time. So those are some of the returners, older players on the team, a junior and two seniors. The only underclassman on this team, Bird Martin. She gets her own bullet point on this list because I am just massively intrigued to see Bird Martin play basketball. Because we just, to be honest, haven't seen it. Right? She has very limited spurts in the non-con last year. Got a little bit more run in the WBIT run. We'd see her for a little bit. Maybe 1, 2, 3 minutes a game, like max. She wasn't playing a lot. And she'd do some really good stuff in those. And then she'd have some freshman moments as she was a freshman last year. Another player I think is going to need to play a lot. She is the backup point guard basically on this team right now because there's Gemma's not there again. Bailey's not there. You have Cindy and Bird as your point guards, so I think she's going to need to play a lot. And she is the only. I think maybe Bailey was a top 100 player, and we said
Lone
Jalen was.
was.
She's the only other one on the team, and was a highly ranked player coming out of 4-star out of high school. And we just haven't seen it yet because she's only a sophomore. Very young. Came to Tech when she was 16, y'all. 16 years old. That's not a joke. She entered college early, January that year. Didn't play for that team, obviously, and then turned 17 while she was here. Last year, she was like one of the youngest freshmen in the country as a 17-year-old. Just has a lot of development to do and maturity and growing up to do. And she's on a very old team. Everybody is old around here, and so I think that's helped her. I've heard great things about her in the offseason from a lot of different people. Gerlich kind of echoed that, so that was good to hear. Says there's still some stuff that she's learning in speed of the game wise, and we'll probably see that in Germany. But yeah, I think I'm just very excited to see her play and what she can bring. And this is a really good opportunity for Bird because if Gemma could play, like she's a senior and she's going to get those minutes. But now we need Bird to play, and I think it's a good chance for her to show what she can do in some big kind of leverage type games as they go along in the tournament. She can shoot it. She's 6'2". She brings a lot of things to the table that other people on the team can't if she can just figure it out, and yeah, I don't know. That's what I got. I'm just very intrigued. She's a very good player.
Yeah, no, Bird definitely is one that I'm super excited for as one of the younger ones, for sure. I think that what's interesting about Bird, obviously, is I think her height. I think her height's going to be a huge factor potentially in this. I know she had some crazy, absurd high school numbers, but I really want to see
She played point guard on offense in high school and
yes,
the 5 center on defense.
Yeah, average like I think
Scary.
20 rebounds per game or something insane. But obviously,
It was absurd.
want her to rebound. I think that's going to be huge. Also, something that we're kind of looking at. We can kind of slip that in there is rebounding. This team kind of had some issues with that last year, especially in the front half of conference play. We kind of figured it out toward the end a
And
little bit.
that's why we started winning games.
Yes,
So good point. Does this
exactly.
team rebound?
Yes. So, I mean, and Bird would be huge. I mean, you think look at her length too, even on something like defense, or having her ball handle a little bit in case Cindy Love needs to get a break. She's not playing the full 40. So, yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what Bird is able to bring to the table. She's the youngest one, as we said, on the team. Coach Gerlich mentioned something about how, Bird had said that she's committed to be a Lady Raider all 4 years in the book market. So, this is our future, and I'm super excited to see how Bird is going to show us, you know, what she's going to bring to the table.
Yeah, there's no reason that Bird Martin should not be a star before she leaves college if she keeps developing and putting the work in because she has you don't find 6'2" point guards just on the street. Those don't
No,
exist.
no.
And I've heard for years she's had the best handles in practice. Even when she was just a practice player going back 2 years ago, she had the best handles supposedly in practice. Like it's not that's never been her issue. It's the speed of the game and learning and catching up and playing against grown women basically when she's been 17, 18. So she's
Right.
getting a little bit older. Hopefully she feels comfortable, and now we're going to get to see it in Germany. That this one might be number one on my list to be honest. Is like what Bird Martin does. I'm very intrigued just because we don't know. It's the unknown
Agree.
factor of it. And then the last one you kind of mentioned a little bit earlier. You expected Nate Frisk to step up as a leader, and Gerlich talked a lot about that in her interview, and it sounds like she has. But that's a big question mark for us. And again, we made this list a while ago, and that's before we interviewed Gerlich. So it sounds like one of the answers to our last thing on who's going to emerge as leaders on this team because there's nine seniors, but like who is the voice that they're listening to? It, it can be all of them, but you kind of need one, two, three of them to really step up. Sounds like Danae Fritz is one of them, for sure. Who else is on there? I don't really have maybe Sydney Love in this. Bailey can't play, but Bailey from the sidelines. Maybe Adley from an energy standpoint. Who knows? But it feels like probably Danae, maybe Jada. I don't know how vocal Jada is. But yeah, it sounds like the answer might be Danae Fritz, but that's kind of on the list is who's going to step up in that way. And then just on that same thing, Bailey's not playing, end of game situation. Who are we handing the ball to? Who's going to step up in those moments? Who wants the ball? We played a little hot potato last year in those moments. Feel like there was maybe two people that wanted that chance, and everybody else felt like they had to get the ball to those people. Well, neither of those people will be playing in this game, right? One is no longer on the team, the other one's injured on the sidelines. Someone else is going to have to step up and be ready to take those moments. I have confidence that there are people that want the ball and their hands on this team now at the end of the game, and they're going to not be concerned about needing to share it. They'll take the shot if it's there. And then, kind of same thing is like the dog energy is always something I'm watching for. Like who has that dog in them? Feel confident Danae Fritz does, but there's a lot of new faces on this team this year. Do we see that energy kind of translate to everybody else and play that way? Do we see an energy of players that really want to win and are not just there for fun? Like that's stuff that matters to me. I think will translate into the season if we start to see that energy here. Win or lose, as long as you see a team that cares and it's really wanting this and they don't want to lose. It's kind of my last one, all under that same category.
I could talk about end of game synergy for a whole hour because
For an
I
hour,
mean we
literally, it
could
could be its own episode. We
literally
probably will do it before the off season's over.
I mean we could probably write a whole documentary and each episode could be about how
Tyler,
like
yeah, I
tragic
have the
our
stats to do that. Let
yeah
us cook. I have all the
let's
stats about
do
our
it.
in-game
Because I
shooting
mean, like,
percentages.
guys, yeah, if y'all watched the season last year, I mean, we ended games in the most tragic, heartbreaking ways possible. We were just
Every game, I'm
so
like, wow, at least they're creative. I mean, that's a new one.
I know it was just insane. So I definitely want us to have, 1 to 2 people that for sure like, you can go to come help bring up the ball. And then I just want people to get open. I want them to, want the ball, I want them to try to, start, pushing the defender, trying to get, availability to take that shot at the end, get a good shot at the end. Don't just like dribble it into a mess and then turn it over or just jack up some random shot, right? Like we really do need to figure out how we're going to start ending games. And I think this would be a great point. I mean, we're talking about, Germany in front of a crowd of 10,000. If that game gets close, you're going to have to keep your eye, like, on that clock. Same thing with the whole shot clock thing. That's going to be interesting as well. So, I mean, I think all of that is something that I'm really looking forward to is just kind of just trying to see, how are we going to go about it? And then kind of adding on to your other point that you brought up, like, yeah, I felt like last year there were some players that wanted to play with a lot of like finesse, which is fine, but there was also no aggression with that finesse, and then it would get them in trouble because block shots
Okay.
could have easily been like, drawn fouls, right? So drawed
Yep.
foul shots, and you could have gone to the free throw line, things like that. So I just think that we just need to play with more aggression, kind of like you said, the dog energy level. It has to be up, and we can't be so worried about, oh, look at this like pretty pass. Like, no, like if just make the freaking pass, make a strong pass, don't turn the ball over, get to the basket, draw the foul. I mean, we were once one of the best like free throw shooting teams in the Big 12, so we need to get back to that. I know we've got some free throw shooters, even some of the new ones that came into. So just get to the line, be aggressive, and yeah, finish those end of game moments strong, because that's what it's going to be like when you get to non-con and conference play. It's not going to change. You got to be able to clutch up in that last minute and not lose games so tragically by one or two possessions.
So tragically, it's not even like it's funny, but it's so frustrating because that is how close last year's team was. They were on teetering. I mean, not winning the Big 12 or anything crazy. Like they were very close to being a team that could have been in the tournament if they had
Hmm.
just won, 3 or 4 more of these games that were like, how did we lose it? Like
Hmm.
genuinely, how did we lose that?
Exactly.
And it was just the same shit over and over again. But like then a new version of the same shit. It was wild, and that's the last time I'm going to talk about last year. We're here now, and I really want to see a different level of just the way they play. I'm not expecting pretty basketball. I'm not expecting March level synergy and basketball play. I've talked about how ugly basketball is in November before. Y'all have heard me talk about it. I can't even imagine how ugly basketball is in July. So we're about to find that out. I'm not looking for pretty basketball. I'm looking for a team that wants to play and they kind of know their roles and they're trying to maybe win some roles even
Hmm.
in that same way. And they're not afraid to take shots. I don't need them to make them. Making would be lovely. I just don't want to see a team that's like scared to shoot the ball, scared to drive, scared to go into contact. Like you said, none of this falling over after going for a layup. Like go into the contact, be tough. So that's just small things I'm looking for. Like that's a big one for me actually. Not even a small thing. So yeah, yeah, I'm not expecting pretty basketball. I understand that they barely played with each other, and the same thing on the other side of the court. The other teams are the same way, and so there could be some sloppy basketball going. But like, don't lose yourself within that, and just be here you are and go try to win some games. So yeah, I'm excited to watch them. We don't get this opportunity really. It's like getting the peek behind the curtain and watch July practices. And we're gonna do that in game form, and it's legit. As Gerlich said, this is not like one of those every 4 year international tours where they just go play a couple games and bop around on the boats and see the sights, and they're not really playing anyone good, and it's like whatever, it's just for funsies. That's not what this is. This is legit. Like they're playing a lot of games against a good competition, playing for gold medals here. You have Team USA across your chest, so it's a little bit different. Just how does that work with a team that has a lot of new faces? So it should be fun. We'll be watching. Maybe we'll get crazy and do like a live show for one of these games, but I don't. It would have to be the Friday game because these other ones are like at weird times. So maybe we'll save that for the bracket games next week or something. But we'll be back next week, probably a Monday show to recap the pull around games, the 3 games, and then we'll preview the quarterfinal games and get into all the things.
Yeah. And basically, kind of like what you said, I think at the end of the day, right now in this position, I mean, obviously they need to play, they need to defend the culture, they need to, put some respect on, Lady Raider basketball. But I think also it goes even beyond representing Texas Tech. I mean, you are representing our country. This is a very rare opportunity. It's not given to many teams. So our team is choosing to represent the United States of America, and it's their opportunity to show, how well we develop our women's basketball players here in the United States. No other country does it, and I firmly believe that, and I firmly believe this staff can coach all of these players way better than any other country. But the point is we can't let the nerves get to us. You can't let any of the, like, the outside noise or any of the, being in a new country things. You just have to kind of work through those learning curves and just really, do your thing. Because, if we do our thing and we play United States women's basketball, we're winning that gold medal. So that's what I'll leave it at there.
Retweet. I'll do you. That was a great speech. Tyler always gives great motivational speeches. Mine's always just like, do the damn thing. Like, stop effing around, get rid of the BS, just do the damn thing and just play basketball. But Tyler said it a lot more eloquently than I. Someone that said it very eloquently, and we can finish off the show
Oh,
with this, is
yes.
one of the new coaches, Coach Jada Williams, posted this on her Instagram earlier with the opening ceremony video as well. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but you should go find her Instagram. She is at Coach Jada, Jaida, on Instagram. And she had this to say. She wrote a really long thing about the Lady Raiders and going into this, but the end of it, I mean, it's just straight bars. Took me to church, really, just straight stuff. I think
Really.
it's her own words. I don't know if it's not, but either way, it's good stuff. It says, "We're talking about the journey, and here's the lesson: complaining about the pain only blocks the blessing. God won't push the product if the product isn't properly tested. We've been through the fire, and our hearts are invested. When doubt shows up, we stay divinely protected. We never did this for the internet. It's always been for His glory and deep-rooted respect. Proud to represent the red, white, and blue."
Period.
I mean, bars.
Bars.
But yeah, her whole thing is really good. Kind of alludes to what Gerlich talked about and how this group's been really tight and has taken this to heart. And we'll find out starting on Friday if that's true. I always take people at their word, so
Same.
I believe it's true. I just want to see them go do it, defend the culture, and go do the damn thing. So let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. We'll see you on Monday or whenever we put out another video. Probably Monday. So wreck 'em, watch 'em, Fisu,
Wreck 'em.
FISU.tv. We'll be there. Highlights if you don't catch it, but we'll be there. All right. Wreck 'em.